All right. What is going on, everybody, on YouTube? Griffin here, just coming back with another live stream, another live Q&A for you guys. I'm just making sure that everything is up and going all right, as it should be. Had to get some things edited here this morning before we went live. And if you're tuning in for the first time, be it live or after, we go from a live to a actual, video, because that's how it works on YouTube. For those of you that don't know, it goes from a live, it takes a few hours, goes to a video, et cetera, et cetera. So if you're tuning in for the first time and wondering who is this guy, my name is Griffin Thomas, of course. I'm the owner of the company you see here, Preferred Pest Management. We've been in business as of today 3 full years. We're going into year 4 now. I took this business specifically from zero, no investors, no anything, no outside money whatsoever, just a few $1,000s to my name, and turned it into a 6-figure company. Our first year in business. And on this channel overall, I just kind of document my overall entrepreneurial journey. I hate calling it that, but that's what it is in reality. And on this channel, like I said, we talk about that. We talk about all sorts of things, really. It doesn't have to be just business related, but today's stream specifically is about answering some of your all's pest control business questions, as that's what a majority of the audience is here for. I do have one question in here. So how it works essentially is, even if I respond to your comments, your questions, what I do is when I do these Q&As, I just pull up all the questions, all of the comments, that is, even the ones that I responded to, because sometimes there's good questions in there that I believe, will help other people out, as well as the person that, originally thought of the comment. How's it going there, King Matt? And we also, speaking of like where all I'm getting questions from, it's not just the YouTube comments. We also have, of course, our Discord group, which is totally free to join if you're not in there. All the links I'm going to be mentioning should be in the description box, specifically in my LinkTree, instead of like having to go in link by link. I have a LinkTree now that you guys can just click that LinkTree, and pretty much everything I mentioned and then some should be in there. We have some questions in there that I try to, remember or mark or take note of, as well as a Facebook group. And now, as of this past weekend, we now also have a Twitch, a Twitch account. I'm kind of late on that bandwagon, but we do have a Twitch account. It's more so, it's not, necessarily all business in there. It's mostly kind of, gaming, chatting. We talk some business in there as well. Pretty much anything you guys want to talk about, a little more laid back, not so, training setting, I guess, if that makes sense. A little more kickback, I guess. So yeah, like I said, any of these links that I'm going to be mentioning at all today will all be in there. Lastly, of course, a lot of you responded to our poll about, did you know we had a podcast? Not just did you know we had a podcast, but did you know we have a podcast that we specifically, from time to time, about once every week or two, will actually do what I like to call kind of like a podcast exclusive, if that makes sense. Something where instead of me actually coming on doing like a full-on video or a stream, I'll just, hook up the mic real quick. I have an audio recorder on my desktop or laptop and all that, and I'll just record, anywhere between a 5 to 20 minute message for you guys real quick and throw it up there. We just threw one up yesterday, as a matter of fact, about silencing the doubts, or doubters, that is, in entrepreneurship. I think that's a good one that you all want to listen to. And again, all those links should be in the description box. The one for the podcast, I believe, is for Spotify only. But we are on, pretty much every, we use Buzzsprout, and they publish it to like every single podcasting platform. So regardless of what you use, we should be on there. Let's see, King Matt says, I do have a question. How do you go about scheduling your routes? Are you fully automated with Gorilla Desk? Tried the feature. Man, got like a frog in my throat. Let's see. Fully automated with Gorilla Desk. Tried the feature. Personally, didn't care for it. So it's not fully automated. I guess from the standpoint of you can use the route optimizer, you can to a large degree kind of automate it in terms of, you're not having to literally go in there and just focus on stop by stop, making sure you're getting everything real compact. I don't know that there really will ever be necessarily in any service business for that matter, not just pest control, necessarily a fully automated where you don't have to tweak the schedule at all, because of course you have the human factor, the weather factor. There's going to be stuff that inevitably can't even talk today, will have to be moved around, right? But no, that's what we use. We use Gorilla Desk. We've used Gorilla Desk. We started using them, less than 2 months after starting the business. So we've been using them for almost 3 years now as well. I like that, they keep adding more and more. Like, that's the thing too, is what I like about the ownership and the people running Gorilla Desk is it's like they didn't just create the product and then like that's what it is. They're always, it's like almost every week or two, I'm getting a notification that, hey, your Gorilla Desk, is ready for an update. We added this feature, we fixed this little minor bug. And what's crazy is like their version of a minor bug is like not even really noticeable, in my opinion. It's usually something super small. Compared to some of these other platforms that I've heard about, like Pest Routes and some of these other ones that, they just full on crash for like a whole day or a half a day. Like, I'm in some other pest control groups of like owners as well. And there were people saying that it cost them like $1,500 today or $5,000 today, or, the bigger companies probably even more. Which doesn't really make sense. I guess it does make sense from an overall productivity standpoint, but to me, that's why it's like you should always have some type of either screenshot of your schedule, printed copy of your schedule, whatever the case may be, just in case if, you wake up one morning and, internet's down. We take the internet, going off on a little tangent here, we take all this internet and automation and all this for granted. We just, we think of it just like electricity. Think about all the stuff we take for granted. Like we flip a switch and we don't even think about where is that coming from? What's the process of everything? Like, what were to happen if, a tornado just blew through this station, where we're getting our electricity from? Or, same thing with, the internet. What if one day we just woke up and the internet, never, doesn't exist anymore? Like, just blackout, no more internet ever again. I think, in all honesty, that would knock out probably not just in the pest control industry, but businesses as a whole. You'd probably see about 70 to 80% of businesses disappear overnight because so many people just don't have other basic skills to succeed, without the internet. Like I said, I know we're getting off on a little bit of a tangent based on your question. But long story short, we use Gorilla Desk. It is getting better. I will say that. I love that they finally created like a dashboard. I would pull up my Gorilla Desk right now, but I know I have a lot of like customer information and stuff. Like, usually when I know I'm going to be pulling up Gorilla Desk on here, I'll go in there real quick and edit my blocks to where it doesn't show like any customer information outside of like pricing and zip code or something like that. But I think it's all exposed right now. That's the only reason why I'm not pulling it up. But they do have like this cool dashboard. Might need to do like an update video for Gorilla Desk since that came out, because that's a pretty cool feature as well that helps you kind of really analyze kind of where you're at. I know where I'm at now. It can get kind of not complicated, just time consuming to really figure out, okay, we're at this amount collected. We have this much that, people owe us still, et cetera, et cetera. I will say one area that I wish, like one feature I wish Gorilla Desk would come up with, and maybe they already have and I just don't know it yet. I don't believe they have, but like within that dashboard, if we could see something about like percentage of work orders canceled or rescheduled or, canceled primarily, because that way, instead of us having to like work out the math ourselves on cancel rate, something just in there where if we cancel the work order, because like me, for example, like how I use a Gorilla Desk is if someone reschedules, I just label it as reschedule, which doesn't matter as much as, someone that cancels, right? So I wish they would at least put something in that dashboard. And like I said, maybe they have. I haven't experimented a whole lot with the dashboard yet. I plan on doing so after the stream since I have some time today. For the first time in a long time, I have like no stops today. Finally got everything done by like the end of the. Technically, I had one more stop to do, but we're gonna go ahead and knock them out sometime this week. I actually just got a email for a quote request form, but yeah, no, I personally, it's the best one that I've found, especially for the price. That's the other thing. They keep adding all these features, keep striving to make it better, and they're not even raising the price on us. Like the price point of $99 a month, for one route is unbeatable. If I remember right, the price goes down to like $49 per route or something like that. Even if it is say $99 per route, per tech or whatever, you can't beat it for the amount that they do offer, at least in my opinion. And if you all, I think you said, King Matt, you said that you did try it. It looks like what I was going to mention is for anyone that hasn't tried it, of course, speaking of all the links that we have in our LinkTree, they are giving you guys, was it 2 weeks of the like pro version, like the best version that they have for free when you use that link. I think if I remember right, he's the actual owner, Chris, set you all up with like a, affiliate link or whatever. So technically like I am affiliated, but like I'm not getting like big bucks I haven't, just put in perspective, I haven't received a single dollar, I've mentioned them how many times now on this channel, and I haven't received a single dollar or anything. So like technically like we have the affiliate link, but as of now, no one, at least as far as I know, no one's used it or anything. But also, it's not like a source of income or anything for me. It's just, like I said, I've been using them for almost 3 years now. If I am ever affiliated with anything and I'm like telling you guys about it, it's because like literally I use it through and through. Like I said, we're using a company right now. It's like supposedly AI based for Facebook advertising. And I haven't even mentioned them by name yet just because like we're still in the process of seeing if it works. My gut is starting to kind of lean towards that it's not. But, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm giving them time. As a matter of fact, I told them I was going to cancel this past weekend, and they called me up immediately. Hey, we like the good customer service in terms of they were like, hey, like we want to make sure that this is successful for you. And it sounds like there was some communication breakdown on my end a little bit. They were like, hey, like, if something's not working, like let us know ASAP. That way we can go in there, tweak our system or whatever, make it better for you. And they offered me also 50% off their services for the next 2 months. So I was like, okay. I was like, that's reasonable, So, it's trending in the right direction. We'll see, how well or not well it ends up working. But like I said, to the whole affiliate thing, I'm only going to bring them up if it ends up, being something that I think is good, legitimate, worth your all's time to look into, money, because I know how it is. When we're starting a business, every dollar counts. We have very little, most of us at least have very little wiggle room, right, when it comes to, at least early on, once you kind of break that first 6-figure level, 100, 150,000, assuming you're not being dumb like I was this past year and kind of raising your lifestyle a little bit. Once you get past around 100, 150,000, you have a little bit more funds to kind of start, trying some things out and taking on a little more risk. But early on, it's tough. I know exactly how it is, and I respect it. That's why I'm very, very cautious about, what I do and don't suggest to you guys. How's it going, Tropical Fruit Loops? Door knocking right now, bro. Awesome. Yeah. No. And if I remember at Tropical Fruit Loops, maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. Trying to remember where you are located. I wanted to say Oregon, but I felt like that was somebody else who's in the chat from time to time. Maybe you're California. I think you're California. Yeah, down here it is chilly. It is a crisp 44 degrees right now. Had to turn the heat on the past 2 nights in October in Texas. Crazy. Let's see. Sorry, I'm in the field, so caught some of your answer. Let's see. Do you use the scheduling feature to test the customers and allow them to reschedule, or just text each customer? So, since we use Open Phone, I'll just give you a quick example. Actually, damn it, I can't. Or maybe I can. Let me try to pull it up real quick. I just want to, like I said, protect my customers' privacy, not give out like phone numbers and stuff like that. A lot of it's going to be wide open, I got a feeling. Come on. So we use Open Phone essentially. Yeah, it's going to expose the phone number. We use Open Phone, and what I do is I have the same text, and we just copy it and paste it. Like, so what happens is we have the schedule all set in place. And like we said, none of that is set in stone, as much as we want it to be. Usually about, 5% of the time we have to reschedule some stuff. Sometimes even 10% of a day. Of course, it depends on weather, is there an issue, is there a scheduling conflict where they need to be home and they're not home. And, there's just the human factor or the weather factor, right? When it comes to rescheduling, yes, we allow them to reschedule because of our billing model. We do, of course, yearly billing is what we push for, which is oddly enough been getting a much higher closing rate than our monthly subscriptions lately, which is the other billing model we use as well. The monthly billing rate where, it pretty much breaks down two ways. Say a 2,000 square foot home, they can pay like $475 plus tax for the year, or they can pay $129 plus tax to get started, and then $40 a month going forward. I think it's $39 actually, because psychology. But yeah, that's how it works for us. So if they're gonna reschedule, to us it's like, okay, doesn't really matter because we're already getting paid on. We've either way we've already been paid because we covered the initial service up front, so we're already got that out of the way. And then each month, because they start paying the month after that first service, that upcoming service is already covered as well. Same goes for cancels. Like when people cancel anymore, like of course I don't want to take a cancel, but I'm not like, man, I just missed out on X amount of money because, for example, I had a cancel about a week or two ago. They got mad that I didn't respond over the weekend. And, they called or text Saturday night and Sunday. And they're like, I don't feel like it should be this difficult to schedule an extra service. And I was like, okay, like, go ahead, good luck. And you know what? He had already paid all 3 monthly payments. He literally paid for the service. No. He paid for 2. 3 would have been when his service was due in November. But he'd already paid for 2 of those payments, 2 out of 3. And we don't do refunds or anything like that because, that's not on us. So, yeah, from that side of it, we're not worried about rescheduling. And then to your point about texting, it's real easy. With using Open Phone, I just go in there, I use the same template, copy and paste it. If it's just like a mosquito service or something, edit it as needed. But we just copy and paste it, change the time windows, 8 to 12, 12 to 4, whatever windows you're using. And then you just go from there. Usually scheduling all in all on a day in, day out basis only takes, from the moment you look at the schedule to the moment you're done reaching out to that last customer, takes me about 5 to 10 minutes a day. I mean, at the most. Like, we're talking at the most. There's some days schedule's already set because we use the Gorilla Desk routing optimizer. And then, from there, once I see, okay, everything looks good, send those texts out. You're talking like 2 minutes and then it's done. Outside of, if someone responds that, hey, we need to reschedule, And usually if someone's going to reschedule, I just address it the next morning because we usually do it in the evening. Our pre-texts, we'll send those out anywhere between 5 to 8 p.m. usually. How's it going, Bass Boy? How to get a pest control license? So that is a very broad question, believe it or not. It depends on what state you are in. So, for example, I'm in the state of Texas. How's it going there, Karate Chick? Hello from California. Or is that Canada? Actually, I think that's Canada. If I remember right, you're from Canada. Maybe. might be mistaking you for somebody else. But Bass Boy, yeah, it depends on, what state you're in, what country you're in. For example, Canada has a lot more strict policies because they're ran by a glorified dictator at this point, but that's a different topic for a different day. But here in Texas, it's pretty straightforward. The most simplistic way about going about it is to get hired by a pest control company, work there for, technically you only have to work there for like a year and a half, but I just say 2 years just to make it easier. Because you're going to start out as an apprentice. You're going to start out as an apprentice, and after 6 months, you can take your technician exam. And then once you take your technician exam, you need to be a technician for, I believe, at least another 6 months. I thought it was 12, but I think my brother was telling me the other day that it was only 6. But either way, like I said, year minimum, year and a half, you're talking 1 to 2 years. And then once you get your certified applicator exams passed, then, you're good to go ahead and start your business, start looking at, getting your insurance and all that type of stuff in place. How's it going there, Shepherd of Death? Good morning, good morning. And I want to pull up, while we're waiting on some of y'all to ask any other questions you may have, I'm going to address some other questions as well. Like I was mentioning at the beginning of the stream, I have comments pulled up from YouTube. Glorified dictator, not wrong. yeah, and that's a very nice way of putting it, in my opinion. Let's see. So Digital Marketing Tips 24 asked about the Loomly app, or I guess I don't even know if they do have an app technically. I never use it. But if you all don't know what Loomly is, we've done a video or two about them in the past. And what it is you essentially, I don't know why it always starts on February of 23. What it is essentially is it's just a post scheduler. You can post to pretty much every social media platform. These are just the ones that I primarily post to, our Google Business Profile, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And their question about it was, can you schedule 8 posts per day in the same platform with this tool? Like 8 posts for TikTok, Facebook, 8 different posts for each platform. And what I replied was as far as I know, yes, I only post on average 1 to 2 a day, but I haven't ran into any limits. And they bring up a good point. As you see here, we just have kind of 1 post for everything. So, we could just do, let's just put in something random here. So, let's see. Oh, that was a quick post. My bad. I wanted to, or you know what? We can make this even easier. We could just try to duplicate the post. So we duplicate. One more. Oh, that's for LinkedIn. So let's see. Let's just say that we wanted to do just a different time, for example. We just go into 11 a.m. Next. Schedule. And then, go into your calendar. And then there you go. I mean, that's like 2. So, yeah, no, I've never, to answer their question there about Loomly, I've never ran into an issue. I mean, like I said, I usually only post with our business profile account, once, maybe twice a day at the most. As you can see, we got some posts scheduled up through this upcoming weekend. That's probably something else I'll do today is, get another week, maybe even 2, smashed out. That's the other cool thing that I do like about this is, like, say I'm pressed on time and I just need to kind of cheat a little bit. I'll just go back a couple of months, I'll go back to August. I'll know, okay, I haven't posted about Frisco in a while. And then I can just hit duplicate post, go in here, and then I could just literally pick another date and time. Let's say I wanted to do it for the 7th. Next. It's already got everything there. I'd probably change the photo though. But let's just say we wanted to leave it all as is, literally just duplicate it, schedule. Go back to our calendar. Oh, that went to December. That was my fault. But yeah, right there. Pretty simple. So, I mean, I like Loomly as well. We're not affiliated with them or anything, but yeah, I mean, it's not too bad. If you pay for the whole year up front, it comes out to something like, I forget, like 29 or $30 a month, maybe even less. Don't, stick with that price. But like I said, that was when we paid earlier in the spring. But yeah, no, that we like Loomly, and like I said, to answer their question, I'm pretty sure there's like no cap on limit for posts per day. Did you end up doing a tutorial on Zapier? Oh yeah, actually, I'm glad you mentioned that because I need to go into Zapier. I'm assuming you're talking about King Matt, the one where when a customer submits a lead, it goes into our Gorilla desk as a lead. I actually need to go in there and tweak that because we were having an issue. I think it was actually my fault. I think I accidentally created like two zaps that were pretty much the same. So when someone would CallRail would send the information in, through Zapier as a lead, but then OpenPhone would do the same thing. So, those two, it was essentially like a duplicate lead situation. But no, I'm glad you mentioned that actually. I'm going to keep the chat pulled up so I do not, I don't think, I'm going to pin your message because, I don't want to forget that. Do not want to forget it. Maybe I'll have some time to get that worked on today and maybe do a video on it. I'm trying to think in terms of timing when I to get that video posted, edited and posted and whatnot. But yeah, I've been meaning to do that. I've been meaning to edit it as well, like edit the actual Zap. So yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. Did you take any small business entrepreneurship classes? No, nope. I'm assuming you're talking about college. Now, I will say in high school, I took some, I was in a high school that was like very, I don't want to say like a college prep high school because that's not what it was, but they had a lot of, advanced placement, which would count as like college credit courses. A lot of elective courses that were very, very similar to that of like college courses. Because I went to college for, like 2 months. It was like, this is the biggest scam I've ever been a part of. But no, in terms of like college entrepreneurship classes, no. Closest I've gotten was like marketing classes in high school. I took a broadcast journalism course in high school as well that kind of helped me with like YouTube and things like that. More marketing really helped with like our website and some things of that nature. There's one other course I took too my senior year in high school that I forget the name of it. I think it was more finance based than anything, but again, helps with it all, connects at the end of the day. But no, in all honesty, I believe that my outlook on it is just like with anything. I actually bring this up to a certain degree in this week's podcast where, like be careful who you take advice from, be careful who you're learning from. Like that's the biggest thing with college is it's like there's so many, professors out there that are teaching shit that they've never actually experienced. Like why would I take business advice from someone who's never ran a business? Like I don't even care if you failed, like just have some kind of experience, like so you can tell me if nothing else what not to do, right? Like even if you failed, you can say, hey, looking back on it, I probably shouldn't have done this, probably shouldn't have done this, that, the other. Like have some sort of application, right? Versus most of these professors, they haven't ran any type of business, haven't even ran a damn lemonade stand, right? Like it's crazy. Like to me, I've learned more online, like on YouTube. I'd say 90% YouTube, and then just through blogs and groups and things of that nature than I ever learned in school. And then of course trial and error. You can Another thing is you can get analysis paralysis, where you're just consuming content. Even I do this a lot of time. I think that's why I have issues with like stress and anxieties, because like I will just analyze. I'll take in, and a lot of times I'll get caught up in not taking the action on that knowledge. So definitely be always looking to learn, but if I were to take any classes, in all honesty, I'd be looking more at like bookkeeping type of courses, accounting type of, accounting, bookkeeping, whatever they call those classes and stuff. Which again, I mean, if you look hard enough, that information's online for free too. So it's a matter of how quick do you want that information? Do you want to have to search through a bunch of BS videos of people, a bunch of clickbait titles, telling you how they're going to teach you do this, and then they teach you just enough to where you still need their help and, sell you their service? Or, do you want to go ahead and fast forward through all that BS and take a quick, couple week course and master, bookkeeping? I would say bookkeeping is definitely one. I think Mark Cuban, shout out to another Dallas billionaire, I believe he even said that as well in some interviews. Like, if there's one set of courses that people should take, it's in, bookkeeping, accounting, tax preparation, all that type of stuff. Just because, as I've even found out, accountants are not cheap. What's up, Salvador? How are those AIFB ads working? Facebook ads working for you? Are you finding the quality of the customer lower from those than Google? So yeah. I think you just hopped in. I was actually just bringing them up briefly. We have had a few leads come in from it. The cost per lead has been astronomically high. Like I was mentioning, I'm still not mentioning them by name or anything yet, because I'm actually giving them a second try, and I'll reiterate it real quick. I was going to cancel with them this past weekend, I believe. Yeah, this past weekend, because I told them, I was just like, yeah, I mean, we're getting pretty much the same results that we would have gotten doing it ourselves. I was like, we've gotten a couple more leads, but I think that's mostly because we've been paying more per day. We've set a $20, $25 per day budget for this campaign, and we're paying like $60, $70 a lead. I was like, that's just crazy. I was like, and a lot of the leads just aren't very good. I was just being upfront about it. So then they called me immediately, like my little, whatever you want to call them, account representative called me immediately, like within seconds of me, sending that out. And was just like, hey, trying to course client retention, keeping me from canceling. And he explained it thoroughly enough to where I was like, okay, yeah, that makes, because I've never had a true marketing, company, do anything for me. It's been all me. And he was just saying, like definitely keep me in touch. Like, let me know day by day. Like, hey, today we got no leads. Today we got, 2 leads, but they sucked. Just, check in. He's like, nothing else. Check in with me once or twice a week. Like, put it on your calendar. You're not going to bother me. Like, don't think that you're bothering me. Like, just because, you're not hearing from me. Like, I'm waiting to hear from you for feedback. So, and they offered me an additional, 50% off their services the next 2 months, 60 days, he said, but 2 months, specifically. So I was like, you know what? I was like, that's fair. I was like, it's only, that brings it down to like right at $150 a month. I was like, I spend $150 a month on fucking going out to eat, right? If not more. But yeah. So we're still, the jury is still out on them. But as of now, it's still not better than, well, in terms of price per lead, I guess it would be about the same as Google right now. But the quality of lead, to your point, is, I'd say it's a little bit lower. But like I said, jury's still out. We'll give them another, I guess like 6 weeks, 7 weeks, and we'll see how it goes. Have you tried using EDDM? Oh my gosh, I forget what that stands for. If I remember right, that's like mail marketing, like sending mail out, like mail flyers or something like that. I still haven't been toying around with the idea of doing so before this upcoming spring, like probably around like early March, late February, early March. Especially out to like new developments, because developments are going up like freaking coffee shops here in the Dallas, Texas area. So definitely toying around with the idea of doing it. Every door direct mail. Yeah, no, we haven't done it yet, but like I said, we're looking at possibly, depending on, how this winter goes for us, doing one of those. And if so, I'll definitely let you all know and let you know what the results are. What I'm going to do for that, assuming so, is we'll create another phone number within CallRail and for like tracking purposes, and we'll put a QR code with a separate landing page on the flyer as well. For, because the thing with those, any type of like print ad, you want to have a separate phone number and a separate landing page, just like an ad, right? Think of it like digital marketing with like Facebook and all that type of stuff. You don't want to use your same basic, whatever you're like, say I put this number up here, for example, which this is a tracking number too. It's just a website tracking number. There'd be no way for me to know. I would be thinking, say I had just a hypothetical number, 10 customers, reach out. I'd be thinking instead, oh man, my website SEO must be doing damn good, when in reality, it was the, every door direct mail. So, that's what we'd be doing. It doesn't take a lot. I mean, you're talking like an extra, $5 or $10 a month for a phone number with CallRail, and then just creating a separate landing page. So, yeah. Also, any more software recommendations to streamline your business? Let's see. Oh, neck is kind of stiff. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Any more software recommendations? Trying to think if there's anything. Let me pull up I guess my apps would be the best one to start. So, like we said, Open Phone, that's who we use for, like the whole phone number, texting, and team member, situation. Of course, everyone knows about ChatGPT. I am in the process of possibly trying to create my own, bot responder within ChatGPT. It's a little more involved, a little more technical. But yeah, of course, ChatGPT is there's almost no limits with that. With that, there's usually another platform. Like, say you wanted to build your own little AI assistant, there's usually you have to connect another service to that, if it makes sense. Like, you can't just use ChatGPT. Like, there's multiple, kind of like Zapier, right? There's multiple things. Actually, you do have to use Zapier as part of it. Connect it to your ChatGPT, and then, like I said, there's a lot that goes into it, but ChatGPT, of course. And then, like we always talk about in terms of tracking your overall marketing success, your, Local Falcon for tracking your local SEO efforts. And then just keeping an eye on your Google Search Console, not focusing on your entire website, focusing on specifically your service location pages, because those are the pages that are going to be most likely to be found more times than not. Do you have a website built for you before you started the business or after? So our first website, we used Weebly. It was not great, but I was very new in the whole SEO side of things. I mean, think about just how much I've learned 3 years now in business, especially when it comes to the SEO side of things. Like, that one we built ourselves just because it's a really easy plug and play type of website. But like I said, you get kind of what you pay for. Not just what you pay for, but the simplicity aspect. The technical SEO wasn't great. It was a slow performing website overall. No ability to really post blog content on there or structure, your website correctly on top of that. So personally, I would stick with a WordPress website. You could do Squarespace as well, I believe is the name of another one that's very similar to WordPress. But WordPress is who we use now. And Gorilla Desk created the quote unquote theme for the website, but literally every ounce of this website at this point is, all me. Like I created everything you see. Other than this is part of their theme as well. It's just a little default contact us form all the way at the bottom, but everything else, the embedded map, like everything in here. And this isn't even one of my best pages either. It could be a little bit neater, but Google doesn't care about how neat your page is. They care about how much value it provides to the customer looking for the service. And to put in perspective, the only thing to have my website how it is right now, if I were to break it down in terms of cost per month, you're probably looking at $45, $50 a month to run this website in terms of the form we're paying for, security, hosting. We're using Kinsta, which is more of a one of the higher end hosts. They're like $37, $38 a month, where most hosts are like $2 to $5 per month. But there's a lot more security, caching, things of that nature. I must need to take some allergy medicine. Let's see, get back to some of these other questions here. Oh yeah, I think it was actually you, Karate Chick, asked that question about what chemical do you guys use to spray exteriors. And like I said, I'm going to answer a lot of these questions I think would help other people in case if they didn't see the questions like in comments of the videos and stuff. The question that you had asked was, what chemical do we use to spray exteriors? Does the heat cause the chemical to break down quicker or even stain siding? I actually didn't even, I must have read right over the part where you asked about the heat breaking it down quicker. So there's a lot of chemicals, of course, where the heat does break it down quicker. That's one thing I even reiterate to customers. I'm like, look, this chemical is going to break down anywhere between 60 to 90 days. So I'm not surprised in the summertime whenever we have like a spike in callbacks, especially when we're at 100 plus degrees, 30 to 60 days straight. And then, like I said as well, the chemicals we primarily use are, Taurus, Tempered, Lambda 9.7 CS, all the MGK products, the main one being Onslaught Fast Cap for like spiders and scorpions. I was trying to think, because you said outside specifically. I feel like I might be missing one or two. Or I said Taurus. That might be it, actually. Those are like my primary ones. And like I said, as far as I know, those do not stain like anything. Of course, we don't want to be spraying windows or anything, but you were asking about siding specifically. And as far as I know, none of those chemicals I mentioned stain siding. The main one that I hear people have issues with is Suspend Polyzone. I heard like Suspend Polyzone, for example, once it's on a window, if you don't wipe it off immediately, like you might as well just replace the window. So that one, I wouldn't be surprised. If it stains glass, I would assume it would stain siding, but I don't use Suspend Polyzone. Let's see. So Vest Pro 5, I just seen this actually. That's weird. I just seen his comment from 13 days ago. He said, quick question. I'm a full-time carpenter, but for the last 2 summers, I've been doing yellow jacket hornet nets removal as a side business. Man, chose a painful side business. It's a strange niche, I know, but it's something I've done for years. for friends and family, and I'm really good at it, and I turned into a small side business. My question is, do you think I should get a license? I spoke to the AG department in my state to get a structural license. Indoor pesticide application is ridiculous. You have to work as a tech for 2 years. Most of my jobs are underground, and hornet's nest above ground. So I'm thinking maybe just not do the indoor jobs and only do the outdoor ones, as it seems the license is easier to obtain for outdoor application. That's strange, actually. Wonder what state that is. Nobody has asked me if I'm licensed, but I would feel better having one just in case. My removals, of course, are very localized to one spot in the ground, etc., and I only use a small amount of I'm going to butcher the word. I know the word. It's just I'm going to butcher it. Aerosolized pyrethrin in the hole. What do you recommend for this odd situation? So, yeah, in all honesty, like if you're just doing it as, oh, you're right there, actually. How's it going? Yeah, definitely is different. In all honesty, like if you don't ever plan on like getting into like the whole other side of the business, like, full on general pest control, I just wouldn't even worry about it, in all honesty. Like I wouldn't worry about the licensing aspect of it really at all, especially since like you even said here, like it's just it's a hobby that makes you money, essentially, right? Like it's a side business. It's kind of like me with YouTube. Like I don't really make anything off YouTube. Just to put in perspective, my first month being monetized on YouTube, I made like $38. Like, and they don't even pay you until you hit $100. So it's like, it's one of them things where it's like, how much effort, like you even mentioned here, are you really wanting to go work for a company for 2 years? I am interested about the whole indoor versus outdoor. Like here in Texas, it's just the licenses for everything. So I wonder what state you're in. But yeah, I mean, it's tough to say. I mean, like I said, me personally, if that's literally all you're doing, and it's just kind of a small little thing that you do for some extra cash, and it's seasonal on top of that, I wouldn't even worry about the whole license thing at all personally. That's just me. That's not legal advice or anything like that. That's just me personally. But also me, to the same point, me personally, I would try by any means necessary to get a license as well, just because you at least want to have the option where, I'm wondering, because you said you're a carpenter. I'm a carpenter. I'm a full-time carpenter. Like, do you work for yourself? I'm assuming for the carpentry work. Because I was gonna say, if so, maybe, just maybe, you can get in at like a mosquito company, because like mosquito companies are seasonal, of course, and the hours, from my experience, I worked for Mosquito Joe, one of the national companies. Very little hours. I mean, there were paychecks. That's why I ended up going to Terminex ultimately. There were paychecks where I only had like 26 hours on a paycheck for 2 weeks. So you're talking like 13 to 15 hours a week. My whole point is try to find something like that where, it's taking very little amount of your time. Sure, you may have weeks where it's full 40 or whatever, but for the most part, it's not taking up as much of your time. Because I'm assuming that's what it is. Since you're a full-time carpenter, you don't want something that's going to be, taking up a lot of your time, right? So that's what I would do. I would try, this is now like my actual advice. Like what I would do is I would try to find one of those, even like literally, I would just start looking up part-time pest control, like just anything, even just working for a small mom and pop who, is just looking to hire their first part-time tech or something, like just something to where you can get that 2 years and get your full-on, licensing. Because then if nothing else, say for some reason carpentry, I doubt it ever will, right? But say it goes south, or say, it's hard on your knees or whatever the case may be, and you're just looking to get out of the industry. you have something to go ahead and fire up. That's in Kentucky. Oh, wow. I'm surprised Kentucky is like that. Let's see. We use Dragnet, and I have. Oh yeah, I've never used Dragnet. I've never even heard of that. As a matter of fact, that sucks. Are you all mixing that at Clean Out, Karate Chick? Salvador said, first I've heard of suspend polystaining. We use it. We use it all summer, past few summers. We do try to avoid windows just as a standard. So, yeah, I mean, as long as you're avoiding the windows, and like I said, from the siding standpoint, I have no idea. I was just saying, I'm assuming since it is like hell to get off of a window, I would just assume that, just to be on the safe side, that it was staying siding. I rarely, it's funny I'm saying this because literally my old house, you'll see right there was a little bit of siding just literally where our fireplace was. But like, I literally like don't deal with siding down here. My house was like one of only 2 houses I've seen in like all DFW that has any siding whatsoever. But from the window side of it, yeah, no, I'm speaking from firsthand on that one. Now, it's a funny story. I think I've even mentioned it on this channel. Whenever I was going through one of my head spells and, I still had to go to work and just handle it, I was having to train a guy because I couldn't drive. They wouldn't even let me drive with, it's funny. They wouldn't let me drive, but they still wanted me to like go to work, do the services, all that. But whatever. Had the opportunity to train an interesting character who was, God, man, just interesting guy. We'll just call him Tom. And my manager came up, met us at a stop, and I was just kind of talking to the manager. Our first baby was on the way, and, we were talking about that. Next thing I know, he asked me, hey, what is Tom, what the hell is he doing? And the dude literally with the not power washer, with the rig, with the, what was it, the JD9 gun, was just power washing the freaking window with suspend polysone. And I was like, boy, I just shook my head because just how the whole day had gone with this guy. Like, I could tell. I was like, this dude ain't all there. And we both just ran over there. We were like, dude, what the hell are you doing? Like, we're probably going to replace this window. And same thing, like you said, Salvador, I never actually seen it happen because I just tried to avoid it altogether. But, of course, shady Terminix service manager. I was like, well, I guess we should go knock on the door. They were like, no, leave it alone. Make the customer, call it in. I was like, bro, that's bullshit, but whatever. I went back next quarter. Window halfway up is just, it almost looks like a filmy, whenever, moisture kind of gets trapped in the window, like older windows, and it kind of has that foggy look to it. It almost looked like that, but you could tell that obviously wasn't what it was. It was just like this almost white film just halfway up the freaking window. And it makes sense. I mean, if you think about it, what's suspend polysone ultimately? Delta dust. I mean, it's delta methane. Like, it's, I don't even like it. I never use it in my business. I remember when I was at Terminix, it would fuck our rigs up, especially in the winter. Of course, there's ways that you can go around, if you want to work harder, you can get around all those issues. But, yeah, that was the one for me where I was like, oh, yeah, it definitely stains windows. I don't know what the hell my dog's barking at in there. Kentucky. Apparently, to use chemicals in living spaces, it's a whole different ball game versus outdoors. Yeah, I mean, per the label, most definitely. I'm surprised that they, even at the state level, I mean, that's what, that's what the EPA and the labels and all that say, though. The state reserves the right to make, stricter laws than, was it FIFRA themselves. What's your sales pitch for customers, residential customers, that belong to big companies that can undercut your prices? Usually by the time they call me, they are over the big company. Like, they're just like, I'm tired of them. Believe it or not, they're usually calling because of a price increase. And when I say price increase, I mean, I've been hearing some crazy ones, specifically about a year or so ago. Not so much in 2023, but lately, I'll say in 2023, the bigger companies have been undercutting us some. And what I just tell them is look, at the end of the day, I live by the saying, you get what you pay for. And I'd rather justify my price now than justify lack of service later. I just keep it real with people. Like, I don't try to, oh, you're getting access to me. I'm going to come. Like, you don't want, I always go by the saying, under promise, over deliver. Because the last thing you want to do is, you're a small, say, one man show where you are able to say, hey, you're going to be talking to me specifically. I'm the owner. I'm the operator. I'll be out next day, blah, 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 blah. Like, you make all those promises, and then the moment you start getting a little bit bigger, that customer calls you for an extra, you miss their phone call because you're in a house. And this is stuff that's happened to me early on. You miss a phone call because you're in another customer's house. And then, they get pissed off because you didn't call them back within like 5 minutes or less. And boom, cancel. Like, okay, at least you're getting that customer for as long as they are a customer. But like, you just kind of want to have some sort of stability, in my opinion. So just always set a realistic expectation up front. Be confident in whatever, your, spiel is, regardless of how you word it. Confidence speaks volumes at the end of the day. Now, I'm not saying be cocky, be a dick, this and that and the other, but just, you can tell them, you can not tell them, you can tell almost within a minute or less of being on the phone, if you're dealing with someone where price is the determining factor. And if price is the determining factor, and you can tell almost immediately, the best way to go ahead and wrap that phone call up is just to ask them, let me ask you, Mrs. Jones or Mr. Jones, are you looking around for the best product or best product? I was thinking something else. Are you looking around for the best service, or are you looking around for the best price? Because you're just not going to get both. It just doesn't exist. I think you know that. Like, which are you looking for? Because we are the best service, but I'm not going to lie to you. Like, we're definitely not the quote unquote best price, but per our service, we are the best price per our excellent service. And from there, they'll decide whether they want to buy that or not. And, if nothing else, it limits time wasting, if that makes sense. Unfortunately, I can't work full time. Oh, okay. Yeah, you work full time for construction. So yeah, that'd make it tough. You'd pretty much have to make a career change at that point. If nothing else, you at least now you know what to do. I would just kind of keep doing what you're doing, and what was I gonna say? Keep doing what you're doing, and then if nothing else, you kind of have something to fall back on, and just kind of go from there. I'm gonna tell my dog to be quiet real quick. All right. Gotta love dogs, right? Hopefully that actually muted. I have no idea if it did or not. Let's see. Maybe it's a Canadian pesticide. Honestly, I don't know. I'm kind of I do research on chemicals, but I am a creature of habit in terms of, I'm a whole, if it's not broken, don't fix it. Unless if the price gets out of control. I'll try to, I wonder if I can pin more than one comment. Let's see if it'll let me. Because I'm trying to remember to start pinning things now. I'll just have to keep the chat pulled up. That way I can remember to do that video and look up that chemical as well. Yeah, Dragon is 10 guard. Oh, okay. That's pretty nasty stuff. Will stain matte finishes. Be cautious of matte metal. I think it's oil based. Yeah, I mean, if it's essentially 10 guard, I believe 10 guard is oil based. Yeah, no, if that's the case, I've never even used 10 guard actually. I've heard a lot about it, but I've never used it. Yeah, yeah, that there was. Oh, I could tell. I just shook my head. I said, he ain't gonna make it, man. He ain't gonna make it. That was literally what I said. I was just like, there's no way. Let's see. But yeah, if it's oil based and it's like 10 guard from the stuff I've heard, I would try to use something else if possible. Curious to know how you handle underground. Yeah, I don't, just to be honest. One, I don't hardly ever get any calls. I think I've had like one call in 3 years for underground specifically. Do you get many calls? Yeah, yeah, no, at least me, I don't get many calls for them. Most of the worst ones that I deal with are, they get up, for whatever reason. I don't know if it's people leaving their garage doors open or, them going in through the weep holes or what. But for some reason, usually around September, October every year, I'll get at least one call where, they will get back literally behind the wall. I think I have a picture on my Google. Is it on my Google business profile? Let me see. Caps lock is on. I hate how Google just changes your freaking photo on their own at will. Oops. Where are my photos? Products, reviews. Where the hell are my photos? Let's see. Reviews. Add a photo. Categories, products. Oh, see photos. It's right there. Let me see if I can find an example. I need to upload some more photos. By the way, I received an email today about a Google algorithm update that uploading photos frequently. Here's part of it. Google wants us to be posting photos more frequently. Thought I heard something. Yeah, this is kind of like an example. We literally had to like cut out a chunk of the wall. They had wrapped their nest around this stud here. It actually goes like from, almost the other stud around this stud and, around. I mean, it was just crazy. Crazy situation there. Overall, that nest was probably about, it had layers to it. I mean, it was ridiculous. It was I thought I had another picture of it where I was kind of zoomed out on it. Here we go. I think this is the same one. Look at that beast. Look at that. I'm not going to lie, I was proud of myself for that one because I do not do well with these damn stinging insects. I mean, I don't think I'm allergic or anything, but I know my brother is. Man, he's like had to go to the hospital and shit. Like he damn near needs to keep an EpiPen on him. Yeah, that was the craziest one I had. This was about, 2 years ago, almost to the day, roughly. That thing was just put in perspective because this picture doesn't even do justice. I almost filled up an entire 5-gallon Home Depot, little bucket, with this nest. I mean, it was massive. Of course, we got clearance from the customer that, hey, we're not liable for any of that because, it's part of what we have to do. But yeah, that was the main one that I've dealt with. I've dealt with like 2 of these. There was another one I had. Didn't take pictures of it because it was late in the day and I was just ready to go home. But same side of the garage, just all the way at the front in the corner. And it wasn't even in the wall that time. Well, they had started to get up in the wall, but he had a bunch of just like wood and shit that was like more, almost like a conducive condition in the corner. That one was not fun. That one took me longer than this one. This one didn't take that long because I would kind of poke a hole in the wall, big enough just to get the wasp freeze in there, just spray it around. A couple of them would come out. Then I poke another hole, on the other side, of, this stud. I started like right here and then I went over here. And then, when I started cutting it out, I noticed, man, there's still some live ones like coming from back behind the stud. So then I poked another hole, sprayed in there. This one took me probably about 20 minutes all in all. But that one there, it took me like, the other one, it took me like an hour. I mean, it was ridiculous. Let's see. Who is Mr. and Mrs. Jones? Oh, that's just random names. It's the old saying, keeping up with the Joneses or whatever. I just, yeah, kind of little default names. Hopefully I don't have I'm trying to think if I have a Jones on my route. Hopefully not. If a customer quits because I didn't return their phone calls in 5 minutes. Exactly. And that's what I told my wife even with the customer that canceled on us like a week or two ago. I was like, you know what, fuck them. They just filtered themselves out. I was like, they're only paying, I think they were paying like $35 a month. I was like, I can make that up in one sell. Like, it's not the end of the world. Like, we're not at a point anymore where like I said, it's not that you want to cancel, but it's like if you're going to be like that, then whatever. Question, you said earlier you doubled up on Zaps with open phone and call route. Yeah, no, like I said, that was an accident. I think it was a late night, in all honesty. And I think I meant to delete the call rail one, but keep the open phone one going. So, like I said, I mean, it'd be like a quick little 5-minute fix. But yeah, I think it was just a, late night mental fart more than anything. Yeah, man, looks like Southern Yellow Jackets in that pick. I do 50, 60. 50 to 60. My God. Yeah, I do maybe one or two of these a year at the most. And when I get them, I'm like, fuck. Like, I don't even like messing with them, to be honest. Like, it's, you can have them. What's the point of, like having both? So open phone doesn't, so all that open phone is honestly, it's so, for example, say you're starting your business, right? And you have your personal phone. And you're like, man, I really don't want to go get a second phone, right? Like, it's going to cost me, whatever the phone costs, and then, $40 a month or whatever the case may be. Open phone is only like $20 a month, something like that. I think it's like right at 20 bucks a month, and it's an app essentially, and it's kind of like a burner phone. It's not a burner phone, but it's like you just get a separate phone number, and it's for businesses. It's not to be used as like a burner phone or anything, but it's literally for businesses. You can add more phone numbers in there for like your sales team, different levels of, CEO, CFO. Like, you could add as many numbers to your account as you want. I think each number is like $20 a month that you wanted to add in there. Now for call rail, we're pretty much strictly using that for marketing purposes, because you have the form tracking and the call tracking. That way we have the data on, let's say, let me go to my email, for example. This form may not even show. Come on now. Oh my God. See if I can remember my password. Oh, there we go. Lucky guess. Let's see. Let's see if this one worked. So see how it says refer? Oops. Like this one, for example, it tells me which website they came from. Or not website, but what specific web page. Start that so I don't forget. It tells me what specific web page they came from, but also say they called me. Actually, another way I can do that too. Oddly enough, it's in my other email. So see, it tells me right here, call from via Google Organic. And that tells me, what website. Number, name, keyword pool. And keyword pool, what that is, that's this phone number here. It changes. Like if I were to reload the page right now, phone number changes. 3958. Let's see if it changes. Sometimes it doesn't change. specifically if you reload the page like I'm trying to do. Let me see. Let's see if we go to the home page, if it'll change. Okay. Yeah, it can tell that I have it. I'm in the same session, so it's just using the same number. But that number kind of changes. It's a keyword pool, essentially. There's like 4 numbers, I think, that it'll alternate through. Why it has to do that, I don't know exactly. I think it's something with CallRail specifically. But, where am I? Right here. As you can see, it says what landing page they were on. You know, it was organic, and that they, you know, that means that they searched for something and they found our homepage on Google. Don't take, you know, the city seriously. That's just where the wireless providers, you know, where they registered that number, if that makes sense. That doesn't mean they're actually located in Grand Prairie, Texas. As a matter of fact, yeah, see how theirs was 9992 and ours is 3958. So that was the call tracking number that they called. Speaking of which, were they the one that actually submitted that form? 9289. Because when someone does that, oh yeah, that's gonna be an easy sell. I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, that's gonna be easy. Anytime they call and then they submit a form on top of that, easy sell. I cannot stress it enough. Oh man, $5. I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much. Thank you for the advice, man. Much appreciated. No, I appreciate you. Yeah, no, I appreciate you all just tuning in. Like it's cool to connect with you all. And yeah, no, you ever feel inclined, I'd greatly appreciate anything. It's awesome. Yeah, you're actually my first super chat person. That's awesome. I appreciate you. Let's see. Was there anything I missed up here? I just want to make sure real quick. No, there's not. Let's see. So yeah, that's the point of both applications. Who asked that? Was it King Matt? Yeah, King Matt. That's the point. Open Phone doesn't quite have all these options. If they do get to that point, which I wouldn't be surprised if they did, they're a newer company still. Then yeah, there wouldn't be a need for CallRail at that point. But yeah, I mean, having this information is worth the, you know, what am I paying, like $100, $105, because it literally lets you know like what's working, what's not working, and of course your ads, Google ads, Facebook ads, etc. All that tracking is everything. Yes, I believe it's oil-based, quick knockdown versus demand, but demand lasts longer. Used it in and outdoor. Yeah. I like demand. Demand is pretty much, demand and Lambda C 9.9. Golly. Lambda 9.7 CS. They're pretty much the same thing. Some of the, demand, I call them demand bros. Like, if you say anything about, like, oh, demand's the same thing, they will, attack you. They'll be like, oh, Lambda has their own, what do they call it? Proprietary technology. It's the same shit. It is all the same microencapsulated chemical. That's all that matters. The main thing is, the price is literally less than half. I get a 32-ounce bottle. I buy them in boxes of 6 now just because of how much of it I use. I get 6 bottles for like $330, something like that. It comes out to like, actually I think it's like $360. It comes out to like $60 a bottle, essentially. Where if I go to get, demand, last time I looked, it was like, what, $115? May even be more. I don't even want to check. It may have gone up. CallRail integrates with the website also. Oh yeah, exactly. How it works, just to give you an idea from the back end. Let's see. Come on. just give you an idea of the back end of it. Whoa, what? Must have been an algo update. Damn, I have to look into that. Let's see. Plugins. So you just go into your plugins on WordPress, CallRail, and then, I mean, it's so easy. You do most of everything from CallRail, as a matter of fact. Let's see. Sign in. I don't need that right now. Let's see. So how you would set that up is you just go into settings. And then, of course, you can have your custom forms, external forms, whatever. You can even port in numbers if you want. And then you see you have workflow. I don't have workflow. Well, actually, I do have one workflow because of open phone setup. I forgot about that. So what workflow means is essentially, say someone called that number that was at the top of our screen. It'll ask them, press 1. This helps tremendously with scam calls. My scam calls have gone since then because, a bot can't press a button. So it just rings through 30, 40 seconds and then that call ends. Because what it'll do is it'll ring once, then it'll ask them press 1 if you're a current customer, press 2 if you're a new customer, something like that. And, depending on which number they press, it'll ring. Well, actually, it doesn't matter right now. They both ring to me and my wife at the same time. That was the other reason we started using Open Phone too, is that way my wife didn't have to use her personal number in there or anything. And then for the integration side, like I said, it's all super easy to do. We did the JavaScript snippet, but like I said, I mean, it's super easy. It doesn't matter what you use, essentially. You got your WordPress. You can integrate, like we said, with Zapier, Salesforce. There's so much in here that you can do with it. I like it. I have no complaints about CallRail. We've also been using CallRail for 2 years now. Demand is on sale. How's it going, Jason? Demand is on sale at Viserys this month. Excellent deals if you're buying in bulk. Even better. Yeah. I have an account with Viserys right now. Let me check. The other thing is I have a good relationship with my local Viserys reps. And they usually give me the best price possible on some things. Let me see. Usually they'll advertise. I bet it's on the scary good deals. Let's see. I wonder how much that fast cap is. Still more than I pay for it on eBay. And that's the other thing too, is sometimes you can find some really good deals on the most random of pages. Oh, Lambda's on sale. Let's see. Demand CS. There it is. Well, that's just the 32-ounce bottle. Oh, it only comes in a 32-ounce bottle. Because it's just like Lambda. Come on, load. So let's see. Yeah, so you buy just one. Oh my God! If you buy just one, $160 a bottle. Yeah, you could buy 80 or more for $133. And like I said, I'm sure my rep could even get it. Usually, with my reps, how it works is if I buy 2 or more, I get this price essentially. I don't pay. I almost never pay for that top price for anything. My reps are really cool. If you show loyalty to them too. What the hell? Why is the website having trouble loading? Yeah, you have to get the master shipper for deals. Got June terms this month. Oh, Best. Okay. Yeah, just put in perspective, like I said, this is what we use right here. Same thing. I buy 6 at a time, and they give it to me for this price right here. So, you're talking, man, what was it? 180? Or even if you get the price like what I get usually, 133, you're still talking 50-60% difference. And like I said, guys, I mean, I've used both. I've had the same exact results. I had what, 2 bottles, I believe, 2 or 3 bottles of Demand CS that I used originally, and then I actually went from Demand to Seismic CS. Went from Seismic CS to Cyanora 9.7. And Cyanora, oh man, it works good, but man, that shit is, I swear that shit causes cancer big time. It stinks. Went from that to Lambda, and I would say Lambda was the best that was like side by side with Demand CS. Seismic was okay. I noticed a little bit of a difference with Seismic. It even is, I don't know what they did to Seismic recently, but I noticed I bought a bottle of it just because I saw it on sale. I forget where exactly. It wasn't Viserys. It was maybe Solutions, Lawn and Pest, maybe. I forget off the top of my head. But I bought a bottle of it just because it was like, oh my God, that's ridiculously cheap, like $59-$60. And I noticed this time that shit was just like, not chunky, but like thick. I was like, ugh. I was like, I don't know if it made a difference or anything, but I was like, I'll just stick with Lambda. I was like, I've had 0 issues with Lambda. Now, I am a firm believer that at least 1 treatment per year, it's not a bad idea to just use something else. Usually if I'm going to like change it up, I'll just switch to like Tempered FX for 1 treatment. Maybe even Taurus SC at the legal rate or whatever, $2,000 or more, no freight. Yeah, that's one good thing for me is I don't have to pay anything for shipping either because I literally have like 2 or 3 Viserys locations in DFW. I have one that's literally about 25 minutes from me in Garland, Texas. Hey, yo, how's it going, Jessica Marquina? How's it going? Does Lambda break down in the sun, or is it like Suspend Polyzone? I typically use Suspend SC and Talstar alternate. So you do something similar, like what I was talking about, alternating the chemicals. As far as I know, Lambda does not like have an issue breaking down in the sunlight. If so, I would have had a lot more callbacks because this is what no. It definitely doesn't break down this. Yeah, thinking about it, no, there's no way because this is like the go-to for mosquito services and everything. My callbacks would be through the freaking roof. Yeah, no, it doesn't break down in the sunlight or anything. The micro and cap formulation is almost exactly that is my point. And if you say that in the wrong groups on like Facebook and shit, oh, they will like tear you apart. And I'm like, okay, I mean, if you have the money to keep paying, $100 plus per bottle, then more power to you. But I'm looking to, 1, make more money, but 2, that savings I can pass off to my customer. What do you think my price would be if I'm having to pay what comes out? Let's see. Let's do some quick math real quick. Because, like, this kind of shit just pisses me off about, like, people that... And most of it are just, like, technicians. It's not even people that, like, own a business and even think about it from the business side of things. But there are plenty of boneheaded owners like that too. So let's say you're spending an average, we'll just say $100 divided by, 32 ounces of, shit. Man, divided by 32. You're paying an extra $3.13 per ounce. Average home, if you're doing it at clean out, is what, 0.8? Is it 0.8 ounces per gallon, I believe? So let's say you use 2 gallons a house. That's 1.6 ounces per house. You're paying an extra $5 in chemical cost just for the name practically. Because, I mean, like you said, it's literally, I mean, it's such a minor difference in terms of the formulation that, like I always tell everybody, I go based on the callback test. If the callbacks don't change, that's all that matters. And if anything, my callbacks are better with Lambda. Just keeping it real with you guys. So let's say you do an average of, we'll keep it light. We'll say 10 stops a day. Let's say you work roughly, we'll just say 20 days out of the month. And we'll say you use this 9 months out of the year. It's an extra $9,000 in chemical. And that's assuming, like we said, that's assuming you're only using an average of about 2 gallons a house. You add another gallon to this, you're at like 13,000 in extra chemical costs, all for a fucking brand. So what do you think's going to happen? You're going to have to charge more. And I mean, don't get it wrong, you could still charge more using Lambda, but like I'm a firm believer of a 50-50 split essentially. Like if I find something that's going to save my company $100, let's say, just easy number, I'm going to pass off $50 of that savings to the customers, and I'm going to pass off $50 of that to the company. Now, of course, once we start getting employees, that will get split into like thirds essentially, but it's all with how you want to run your business at the end of the day. I have my ways, some people have theirs, is what it is ultimately. Make sure, I thought there was maybe one more. Let's see. Melinda Properties asked, why isn't your channel named after your business? And I was looking at my answer. Yeah, I mean, it is a good question. Like, if you're seeing my channel for the first time, you're probably like, I mean, you talk about your business like all the time on this channel. Well, ish. This channel is just, like I said, my overall entrepreneurial, not even just entrepreneurial journey, just my overall kind of like life journey, I guess. Like, we talk a lot about business, finance, etc. But we also, as of this past weekend, we do a little bit of gaming, like I literally, and the reason for that is because, due to my business life and just life in general, going off of, some anxiety medications, I have severe withdrawal. It has been widely suggested that I get some hobbies and things of that nature. And, I've been doing stuff like going to the gym and everything else. And, nothing was really helping. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I haven't played any type of video games in like 5 years. Like, let's give it a run. We'll see. Maybe we can have some fun with the YouTube audience, get some people on Twitch and, get some people from Twitch to come over to YouTube, and maybe, people that never even thought about joining the pest control industry might see some, light at the end of the tunnel for their financial journey and start a pest control business, or not even just start a pest control business, but maybe they see my financial videos, about getting your shit together and, getting their life right, getting their money right. Like, like this YouTube channel, it's not just about like my pest control business. And that's what I told them essentially. I was just like, yeah, no, we have our YouTube channel for our pest control business. If we go, oh, who is that weirdo? I ain't clicking on that. Let's see, preferred. We have our YouTube channel for Preferred Pest Management, which I didn't realize we're up to like 20 subscribers over there. We post some funny shorts once a blue moon. We got our video content for like our website primarily. Let's see what we got up there actually. I need to post some more actually. But yeah, I mean, we have our channel for our, pest control business specifically. Someone was asking about Into Care, by the way. I'll post this video in case if, it'll help anybody. So I guess I can just copy it. In case if anybody, because there was somebody I could have swore asking about the Into Care system. I'll post it in the chat there. And if you're seeing this after it goes from a live to a video, by the way, I made sure to have the live chat on replay as well. So, like if you're watching this, once it goes from a live to a video, just hop down to where it shows like previous chat or something like that. And that link will be in the chat as well. But no, we have that as well because that is very important for your business, having a YouTube channel. And, at least posting, some content occasionally. It doesn't have to be daily or anything, but the more the better, of course. You just, like always, like anything, you want to outdo the competition. So, yeah. Let's see. Clay Brandon asks, could you maybe do a video about what all you need to start a pest control business? I mean everything. Maybe you have, sorry if you have, or maybe you should do a class or course where you charge people to make videos on a step-by-step. I mean, from the beginning, like scratch. So I'm assuming when he says, like, make videos for people and, like, charge them for it, I'm assuming he, like, has heard me say, like, every state is different. Because that's one thing I do stress to everybody is, like, every state is so different. I mean, a lot of states are very similar, but almost every single state has little quirks that are just different loopholes that you have to jump through. So there would definitely be some research going into that in terms of knowing every single state, their laws and stuff. But yeah, I mean, technically to answer his question about that, I don't talk about it a lot just because it's not like what I'm here for or anything. We do have my website, griffinbthomas.com, where like if you wanted some type of consultation or anything, you could, just submit your information. I need to actually reconnect my email. I wouldn't be surprised if someone has already done this, but I'm not getting notifications from that email for some reason. So I need to make sure that is all set in stone. But yeah, and I believe that's in my LinkTree as well. If for whatever reason, anyone wanted like some guidance, we have like 30-minute, I think we have 15-minute, 30-minute, and 1-hour phone calls. Unfortunately, I got a feeling that price might have to go up just because of the time that it takes. But yeah, I mean, that's there. But like I said, there's a reason why I don't like really talk about it a lot. It's not even something that, just to be completely honest, it's not even necessarily something I want to do. But like I said, if people want it, then, just submit the form and, we'll look to get something set up. I think one of you, I think it was Estevan, I think you've been wanting to do one, and I got sick right around the time that we were supposed to do I think it was 30-minute consult. Let's see, just trying to make sure I'm not missing any other questions. Oh, I think it was King Matt who was asking about Into Care. Or no, he was saying no one is doing the service besides Into Care. Okay. Shepherd of Death said you paid $100. So yeah, I definitely wanted to clarify that because apparently I must have misspoke in that video. He said you paid $100 for 100 door hangers. Did you misspeak or did you really pay $1 per door hanger? So yeah, no, we didn't pay 100. It was what? I forget what it was. Was it 1,000? I forget. But yeah, like what I was telling him is what I meant is I only passed out about 100 of them, and I still have some stacks of them, which I do. I just reorganized my office. I forget where I sat those, but I still have literally, like, they still have the band around them and everything, like at least a few hundred more. But yeah, no, we didn't pay a dollar per door hanger. And then let's see, Karate Chick. I don't know if Karate Chick is still in here. Asked about, with exclusion, with like the expansion joints and things of that nature, aren't they there for a reason? Would there be issues with sealing those off? Every home is going to be different, and that's kind of what I was saying in the comment back to Karate Chick. Down here, like, we mostly deal with, for example, like slab foundations, brick homes. Main thing in terms of the home breathing is like weep holes. So like what we do is we use a product called Excluder, which allows the home to still breathe properly, but it doesn't allow anything to get into the homes, including like snakes. It's like some really, really prickly shit. This is a 4-inch roll. I like, because of how weep holes are designed, they're like less than an inch. I like getting the 1-inch rolls. Let me see if I can find them for you guys really quick. Oops. I think it was Phil, maybe. Where are you? There it is. So we get the 1-inch ones. And that's another thing Viserys carries. Usually I don't order it off the website, just unless if we're looking to buy in bulk real quick, because 36 rolls, that's going to last quite a long time. The ones that Viserys sells, they come in like it's either the 3 or a case of 4, I forget. But just to put in perspective, it's like little bags that have like these 3 or 4 rolls in them. And on a home like ours down here in Texas, you're probably only using like at the most 1 bag per house, unless if it's like a really, big wide house with a lot of weep holes. But yeah, that allows the home to breathe. We don't do anything that's like causing the home to not breathe properly, because yes, I see the good old homeowner special a lot when it comes to exclusion work, and it's just like, your home has such issues breathing. So no, you definitely, the main thing is just being creative, covering all those gaps possible where they can get into the home, but don't obviously, do stuff that could, damage the home, right? But no, hopefully the stream has been doing all right for you all. So we got like 4 of you in here right now. Hopefully you all have been enjoying the stream and all that good stuff. If we don't have any more questions or anything, I was trying to think if there was any other, like in Discord or anything. Let's see, talking about insurance deductibles in the Discord group chat right now. Let's see. Oh yeah, and today was the day actually that I passed my exams and started my business 3 years ago today. Let's see. Trying to see. I thought there might have been a question in here. I wonder if it was a DM actually. So King Matt had asked me, do you currently have 2 phones for my business, been watching the streams, heard you use open phone. How do you go about doing that? Do you use your phone number to the public? So what he was asking is it's like, how do you, like, with all the phone numbers you have, like, which ones do you give out to the customer? And like, how does the customer know? Like, how do they keep up with which number to call, which number to give for like referrals? And yeah, with how we did everything, it definitely can be complicated the first couple months, because I had, a few hundred customers who have my first number. And like I tell all of them, because now we're to the point where we've kind of gone through all the customers, and I've texted them through open phone, and they'll ask, hey, is that your new number? And I'll be like, yeah, that's like our new primary number. That other number still works, so you can keep it as like a backup. That way, like, if for some reason you don't get a response, within a day or so, just text me from that other number. But yeah, no, it happens where, people still call that number, or they refer people with that number. The main headache would be if you wanted to shut that number off immediately. Good thing for me is I don't like have to shut that number off, so I'm just keeping that number up and running. We'll reevaluate next year, if we want to go ahead and discontinue that number and relabel the trucks with the new number. But for the meantime, I still have that phone number, so it's not the end of the world. It hasn't caused like major headaches or anything. It just is, a work in progress with getting everybody to, just text or call the open phone number. And then also that is the number that we use for like our Google business profile. Actually, no, it's not, because we use the call. That's the other thing. We use CallRail. So that's the Google business profile number with CallRail. And then that goes into that workflow that we were talking about with CallRail, where they'll say, I'm a new customer. And then from there, boom, it dials my wife's open phone number and my open phone number at the same time. And this phone is like pretty much no longer involved, which makes it nice, because now almost every time somebody calls this phone, I know it's bullshit. Unless if, of course, it's a referral. And usually if it's a referral, they'll follow it up with a text message, a voicemail, something of that nature. So like I said, scam calls overall have been virtually non-existent. Hallelujah for that. But no, like I said, if we don't have any more questions or anything, we'll probably start winding the stream down. Like I said, if you all aren't already following the podcast, we just uploaded a new episode, a podcast exclusive yesterday about silencing the doubts of entrepreneurship. And if you're not, because I literally just fired this up over the weekend, if you're into Twitch at all, I do have a Twitch account now that, occasionally during the nights or days like today where I don't have a lot of work and I'm not feeling like doing some SEO shit, I'll hop on, do some gameplay, answer some of your questions, just like we do with this type of stream. It's a little bit more laid back, like, it's just chatting. It's not like this where I'm literally sharing the screen on my laptop and just diving in, answering questions or things like that. It's more just kind of laid back, chatting. If you know Twitch, you probably know what I'm talking about. But yeah, links for everything, are in the description, or not in the description box. They're in the, well, I guess they are in the description box. They're in my LinkTree, which is in the description box below. It makes it super easy. I love LinkTree. Ever since I saw a creator use LinkTree, I was like, that's badass. You have just all the links right there instead of, having to go back to YouTube, just back and forth. You have everything right there, just boom, boom, boom. You can click on each one. It's pretty cool. So yeah, any links that you all may be interested in or may benefit from are going to be in that link tree down below. And I want to give you a shout out again. Vespro, I appreciate the $5. No, that's my first super chat ever. So I appreciate it big time. I love you guys so much. I just love coming on here chatting with you all and just bouncing ideas off people. And I learn a lot from you guys as well. So it's just awesome to see the community continue to grow, which leads me to my last point. Speaking of like social media stuff, links for our Discord group and Facebook group, which are both free to join, by the way, are also in that link tree. We're almost at 100 people in the Facebook group now, and I forget how many we're at on Discord. I don't even know if it'll show me. I don't know how to see it. It's easier to see on the phone. I know we're at like pushing 300 on Discord as well, if not more. So it's just awesome to see that, continue to grow as well. Let's see. You got a question, Matt? King Matt. Does OpenPhone integrate contacts from Gorilla Desk? Oh, yeah. No, that's actually what I did. So all you do is, just to give you an idea, you just upload a CSV file or, any type of file for that matter. Just trying to get some things off here. Let's see. Go into settings. They have, first and foremost, integrations. Of course, like we said with Zapier and things like that. But let's see, for phone, I forget how to do it because it's been a while since I've done it. Was it groups? No. Where is it? Contacts? Yeah, there you go. So for contacts, the easiest way to do it, in my opinion, is just import a CSV file. You can see here that I did it, I had it labeled, and you just take your CSV file from Gorilla Desk of all those contacts. That's the cool thing about Gorilla Desk. You can filter it. Like I specifically filtered active customers only. And, same thing for, say you wanted to use like chip mail for text message marketing or something like that. You could do customers that don't have a job attached. Say you wanted to do a reach out campaign. I know that's on a different subject than what you were asking about, but yeah. No, it's super easy to do. Like I said, there's the Connect Google integration. There's CSV import, which in my opinion is the easiest way to do it. And say you wanted to kind of just start from fresh, you could delete them all and, redo it essentially. So, which is what I do from time to time. In all honesty, I'll probably be doing it soon because it's been almost 2 months since we did our CSV upload. So what I'll probably do is I'll delete all. I'll go back in, get the new list of active from the last 2 months of adding customers, put it all in there, et cetera, et cetera. Only takes like 5 minutes at the most. So, yeah. What do you guys use for German roaches? I personally love to use a combination of obviously some good bait, glue boards as well. This is more the IPM side, which I'm not even going to get into that whole argument that was going on about IPM, what is and what isn't IPM. But I'll use bait, usually Advion cockroach bait. Sometimes Alpine cockroach bait just because I have some of it, not because I really like it or anything. I've heard great things about Vendetta, but I tend to use, and I've actually been debating once I run out of cockroach bait, purchasing some Vendetta to see how I like it. Right now, I primarily use Avion cockroach bait with a lot of glue boards, and in our BNG, I'll mix up some Alpine WSG with some Teco Pro IGR. And you could use Gentrol if you want, but Teco Pro, again, going back to, apples to apples comparison, almost same type of concept as, the Lambda 9.7 versus Demand. They work the same. Main thing is, IGR. I use Vendetta, and it's amazing. And I heard that too. Yeah, I heard that. I think it was Kristen, maybe, in a previous chat, had mentioned that it has an IGR. I had no idea Vendetta has an IGR in it. Like, that is awesome. That's probably what I'll be using going forward. So do you have to constantly update that CSV? Yeah. Because since a CSV is just, all you're doing essentially is like taking the current contacts and like creating a file essentially. You'd have to update that. Now, the one thing about it though is since I guess you technically don't. I didn't even think about that because you could create a zap where, like the zap that we have created, I'm trying to go through it in my head. The zap that we have created, customer calls in, it takes their info and pushes it to Gorilla Desk. And the customer's information is already in OpenPhone. So the main thing is just not being lazy like me, I guess, and remembering to actually, like, say, if you want to have the customer's name attached to the phone number, just going in there and putting their name on the number. Otherwise, if you're like me and you're kind of lazy about putting phone numbers, names on the numbers, then yeah, you could just go in, delete that old file on OpenPhone, go get your new CSV file, plug and play, and then you're good to go. Either way, easiest way or not easiest, but quickest, the way to avoid having to do that would be simply just, while you're getting the customer's information, put their name on that phone number, right then and there in OpenPhone. But I'm a little lazy. I'm not going to lie about it. But Yeah, no. If that's it, then yeah, like I said, we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. It's lunch hour here, and I have not ate today because I don't really ever eat breakfast. I always fast about 12 to 18 hours a day. So, um, yeah, no, I'm gonna get some grub hopefully, and hopefully you guys did enjoy the stream. If you did, do me a favor, smash that thumbs up button. It helps other people find the streams, find the channel, see what we got going on here, all of that good stuff, and feel free to share it too. Share it with anybody that you think might benefit from the information in the video. Real quick here, been spraying them with a dragon. Oh yeah, no, I wouldn't be using that personally, especially if it has staining issues, because golly, it could stain wood floors easily. I would switch to an Alpine WSG. Alpine WSG almost by itself works great. You mix it with an IGR and some glue boards and a bait if you have it. I get rid of pretty much everything within no more than 3 treatments. I've only had like one job ever where we had to do. Now, sometimes commercial accounts can be a work in progress, but in terms of residential, I've never had one take more than 3, total treatments, initial 2 follow-ups to get rid of them. So, yeah, like I said, hopefully you guys did enjoy the stream. If you did, do me a favor, smash that thumbs up. Do me a super big favor and go follow us on Twitch. Because I go live on Twitch almost I wouldn't say lately, the last 2 or 3 days, I've been going live every single day. For, at least a solid hour or so, sometimes longer. But, yeah, if you want to be able to ask like more questions and stuff like that on a more consistent basis, like I said, what I was telling everybody in Discord the other day is it's so easy to set up a live on Twitch, or with YouTube, my God, there's so much that goes into it. It takes on YouTube an average of low end 15 to 30 minutes just to get a stream up and going. Or on Twitch, it's literally what's your title, what game are you playing, or whatever, the case may be, what topic are you talking about? You're live. Like, simple as that. Yeah, Avion works great too. So yeah, if you all want to hop in there and chat and make fun of me being bad at, some video games occasionally, then go follow over there. We're trying to get up to at least 50 followers over there. We already got like 4 or 5 of you over there. So, yeah, no, I appreciate it big time. Has dry bait called microphone? Let's see. Has a dry bait called microphone? I've never seen roaches attack bait. That's interesting. I'll have to look into that. But yeah, no, like I said, all links and everything we got are in the LinkTree in the description box. If you have any questions after this goes from a live to a video, just shout it out in the comments down below. Don't forget, we got that new podcast episode up from yesterday, and I will see you guys in the next one, or possibly over on Twitch here later today. Have a good one, everybody.